not that cold.
No,
Is
it's
it?
not that cold.
It's not that cold. Let the record show. We have been in here for 1.5 minutes. It is not that cold.
But you know what I mean. Sometimes
I will just
off
let you
the
know,
bat-
you are dressed inappropriately. Okay? You are wearing a short sleeve shirt. I'm cheating.
You are.
What's your favorite ingredient on the menu right now?
Barbare.
Which is?
So it's an Ethiopian spice that we use in like 90% of our dishes.
Cool.
Like you can't have Ethiopian food without barbare. It's kind of like jerk where there isn't a specific recipe for it. Everybody just kind of does it their own way.
I love that.
Yeah, and then somehow magically in the end it tastes the same.
What's your favorite walk-in snack? So, you know, you come in, you're supposed to be grabbing a quart of something. What are you dipping in? What are you tasting?
And you know you're not supposed to do that.
I know you're not supposed to do that, and yet everybody does that. No?
So it's not a particular thing, but this shelf, this speed rack is kind of
the snack rack.
Yeah, that's the snack rack. You know, you gotta do quality control, man.
Chef has gotta taste.
I gotta taste.
Yep.
So you'll find me nibbling a lot of things from the speed rack.
Besides getting to taste everything, what is, right now, today, your favorite part about being a chef of this restaurant?
This particular restaurant, I'm trying to do something different in terms of building a culture. If you're selling serious food, you know how the culture is. I would even go as far as saying it's kind of a bully system. There's a lot of bullying that goes on.
Sure.
And in this kitchen, I say I lead with joy. I think happy people are more productive. So if you got a crappy attitude, you're out of here.
Yeah.
I work 80 hours a week, but I come in here all smiles. No one has a bad attitude. So I'm trying that out here, and it's been working really well.
What is something that's on the menu right now that is like a perfect representation of either the restaurant or you as a chef?
The Addis York, Addis Ababa, is the capital of Ethiopia, and it means new flower. So Addis is new, so New York. So it's a dish that represents both Ethiopia, but also us being here in New York City. The Addis York, it's a quintessential Ethiopian doro wet, which is a stew that we make usually for special occasions like weddings, holidays, because it's such a laborious dish.
Yeah.
It starts off with caramelizing onions for at least 8 hours. You got grandma just making sure she's over there caramelizing it for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And then you add your barbare, and then you add chicken. I roll it in injera, which is the bread that we usually eat it with.
Yeah.
And then I serve it with a fried chicken that's dipped in a honey barbare sauce.
Wow.
So quintessential Ethiopian dish, served in a New York kind of style.
Sounds amazing and
It's
elaborate.
delicious. Yeah, it is very elaborate.
Those caramelized onions are killing your labor costs. You got somebody just standing there for 8 hours stirring onions.
You have to watch the pot the whole time.
Put up a Craigslist ad. All you're gonna do is just caramelize onions.
That's
40
it.
hours a week.
Yep.
That's it.
Just watch there if
That
it
might
burns.
be one thing where like a robot could sub in. Like I'm
Oh,
not
God.
for removing humans from the
Please, no.
kitchen, but like that seems like maybe there's gotta be some tool that can caramelize the
No.
onions for you. No, you need it
No.
loved, done by hand. What's something about the culinary world right now that's something that is exciting or that you're really happy about, that you see happening?
There's a lot of chefs of color that are getting their flowers. I mean, it always felt lonely, whether I was a prep cook or a line cook. I'm like, damn, I'm really the only woman of color here. Like, at some point it gets old. Even as a head chef, I was never really given that opportunity to make the true changes.
Yeah.
So I pretty much threw in the towel. So I went back to Ethiopia. 6 months after having moved back home, I got a call from Marcus, Chef Marcus Hamilton. And he was like, hey, I'm opening this restaurant concept in Chelsea. He knew that it needed to be ran by a woman of color. He's like, you know, we just need to shine more light on you guys. You haven't really been given the opportunity. And yeah, I moved back for this
Have you known
restaurant.
him or worked for him prior?
We were featured in the same book called A Place at the Table.
So where were you working pre-pandemic?
So it was a Hillstone Restaurant Group.
So were you part of the corporate chef team or did you run a restaurant?
I ran like restaurants.
Pros, cons of working at a place like Hillstone versus working for like, let's call it a mom and pop or a single operator?
You know, when I was at Hillstone, if something broke down, I'm like, cool, let's hop on the phone and fix it.
Yeah.
At a standalone, you're kind of like, well, let me watch this YouTube video, try to fix it myself.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like the money's coming out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
You know, you really have to protect that P&L at all costs.
Sure. The duct tape life.
Duct tape goes a long way.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got the 2-star review, that's a big moment
Yeah.
for you to be leading this kitchen and get recognized in the biggest newspaper in the world.
Yeah.
How has that changed your personal outlook on being a chef and a leader? And then what has it
Yeah.
done for the restaurant?
It helps, obviously,
Yeah.
a lot. But the second you're like, whoa, let me sit down and pat myself on the back, is when, I don't know. Like, I can't stop to think about these things. Go, go, go. There's so many more things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is now important to me to be like, all right, cool, well, we can get these accolades. It's not only reserved for, you know,
Yeah.
a certain type of,
An old white man.
there you go. I don't want to say it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Or a young white man. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's exciting to see new restaurants open at every style and every price point, reflecting the diversity of the culinary world.
How approachable does the food have to be in order to keep butts in these seats?
Yeah.
I do eventually want to get away from that conversation, and I hate the word approachable now.
Our goal as chefs is to make really delicious food, but also
Yeah.
we have an obligation to the business to make sure that we can sell that food, right?
Exactly.
And so you're always like towing the line of making something that's exciting to you.
Right.
And maybe everyone in the kitchen says, this is so delicious.
Yeah.
But then you have to be cognizant of like, is it costed properly? Can we execute it properly? And will
Exactly.
people come for it? How do you struggle with that when you like really want to keep something on?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not the thing that people are coming back for.
So I do a seasonal menu. So there's nothing that really stays, but there are dishes that I'm really tied to. For example, I had a dish called Umi's Pearls. Umi's my mom, and I used her recipe of a shuro, which is it's an Ethiopian stew made with ground chickpea flour. So to have my mom's name on my menu here,
Yeah.
it was just I'm sorry. It was like, really why?
What's that moment like when your mom like steps through the doors for the first time? And, like sees you here doing this food that is, you know, it's your food.
It was a long journey to get her to be proud of me. Michelin doesn't mean anything to my mom. Like, it's just,
Right. Doctor, lawyer means
that
something.
means something.
Yeah.
But
Well, you
the
know what you should
first
do? You should
time-
give her a copy of the New York Times article
That doesn't
she
mean-
can keep it in her purse.
That doesn't mean anything to the New York Times. Like, it's just, the first time I saw my mom ever proud of me was when she started seeing me on TV. That was it. Because that actually,
That resonates.
yeah, that resonates.
That's part of the American dream.
Yeah, she's like, and my other siblings, like they took a video of her like watching me on TV, and there was a moment where she turned around and she's like, "That's my daughter," and I'm like, she gets it now.
Yeah.
I can't wait for her to come here. She'd be super proud.
How do you think about getting someone to return to your restaurant as the chef?
The food can be as good as anybody could want it to be.
Yeah.
It won't mean anything if the front of house side of it isn't memorable either. I'm gonna hold down the food, but you guys have to create a memorable experience. Like, you guys have to make our guests feel like they're coming home.
It's not one thing. It's multiple touch points around the restaurant.
Right.
And you can only be in one place at one time.
Exactly.
What is something that you do or that interests you that's not related to food or this restaurant?
So my friend Jasmine started this antisocial book club
Okay.
where we're not all reading the same book, but we'll go out in nature. So we'll go to Wave Hill, all of us with our books, and just sit in nature and read.
Nice. You don't even have to talk to each other.
Nope.
And it's not the same book, so you don't have
It's
to.
not. We don't have to discuss it. We don't have to break it
discuss
down.
At all.
Nope.
Ah, I love that. That's
antisocial book club.
That is a great social, not social activity.
Yeah.
You can be like alone, but it's not lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to taste one thing if you're okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, is there some sort of sauce or something that we can taste and you can tell me a little bit about it?
Are you frozen?
My feet are frozen, but it's fine. I do not want a hard-boiled egg as my
First of all, I
first
say
meal of the day.
soft-boiled egg.
Oh, excuse me.
the 8-hour caramelized onions with berbere.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's just like gonna be good on everything and anything, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many dishes does that go on? Just one? Or is that sort of like you play around with that and it gets kind of mixed into many things?
It's funny that you asked that. I only have it on one dish. But recently somebody reached out to me and they're like, you should put that in like...
You should put that in a jar. That could be like the new like fly by Jing like hot.
Can you?
The new like hot sauce. I don't mean spicy hot. I mean like you should jar that.
But that's the other thing. I have so many moments when I come into the walk-in and I see labels like shuro, dorowet, and I'm just like, yo, like I never thought, I would be able to do this where it's like, this is
You.
Yeah. This is home, but I get to do this in a very upscale, like public,
Yeah.
and people come back for this.
How unbelievably satisfying is it that we woke up and decided that we wanted to put food on plates,
Right.
and people eat it, and then they decide they could go anywhere in New York City, and they come back
came
again.
here.
You know,
Yeah.
the first time, okay, they come for the first time, they're gonna try it
Right.
out. But like
Yeah.
the return is what that's what's so thrilling to me is someone who sat, tasted it, and had the full experience.
Yeah.
And
And
they
they
said,
came back.
they're really doing something good in that kitchen.
Yeah.
And I had a nice time in the dining room, and I'm coming back.
I'm here from starting it's like 8 o'clock, right? By the time dinner service starts, I'm already tired.
You've worked a full day.
I worked a full day, but then
Yeah.
I got 8 more hours.
Right.
So when a server comes up to me and they're like, hey, table 51 really wants to meet you, I have to build that energy because sometimes
Right.
I'm like, damn, I really don't want to talk to anyone right now. I'm so tired. But when I go out and table 51 is a young couple with a 6-month-old toddler who drove all the way from Virginia just for this dinner.
Yeah.
Because they saw me and they were inspired and they just wanted, and I'm
Right.
like, you can't have any off days. You can't
Totally.
have a crappy attitude. You just can't.
If you're passionate about something and you think that you have a story to tell or flavors to share,
Yeah.
there's going to be a time and a place where you get to do that. And someone's
Yeah.
going to drive to eat your food and
It's wild.
there's power in that, and
Yeah.
there's also you responsibility. People look to you now because you're a leader.
Yeah.
What's your technique and what's your leadership style in the kitchen?
I was never motivated by fear where, man, getting yelled at was not getting yelled at was the motivation, right? Like, damn, I don't want chef to throw away all my shit or yell at me.
Yeah.
I want the motivation for these guys to be, yo, I'm so happy to be here. I woke up and I'm not dreading going to work. I have 3 F's: firm, friendly, fair. So I'm always keep it friendly, and I'm always be fair. If I gotta tell you the same shit twice, firm, Fariyal comes out, and that is not,
Yeah. 3 F's.
3 F's, firm, friendly, fair.
You can put it on a t-shirt, all right? That should be the staff t-shirt. 3 F's. It's just a picture of you underneath, just being like, listen. Is that a walk-in freezer?
Yes.
Okay, so we've never had this opportunity. Can we do a quick talking in the walk-in freezer moment?
Are you not cold enough?
I'm so cold.
Very
But
confused.
part of the show is just uncomfortable questions in an uncomfortable place, so.
See how cold it is?
Yeah, we're rocking.
Like-
We're rocking -1.
Yes.
All right, let's do 1
Okay.
minute talking in the walk-in
Okay.
freezer.
Oh boy.
This is a bad idea. Okay, we did it. We're talking in the walk-in freezer. We got the footage. It's so cold. I don't think I need to stay in here much longer. We can go.
No, let's go ahead and talk about how beautiful my stocks are.
Oh wow, look at all this stock.
Sustainable. Come on.
I've enjoyed my experience in your talking in your walk-in freezer. I can't even think anymore.